Hi guys, welcome back to my latest video. Today we will check out what we have to do before we can take our beautiful Cessna 152 into the air. So it's about the pre-flight check, the startup, the taxi and the before takeoff procedures, which are very necessary in order to handle the airplane in the air successfully. So we are back at the North Sea Island, Belgium, and we have our beautiful Hotel Alpha Sierra Juliet Kilo Cessna 152 ready for departure. But flying is not about enter the airplane, take your seat and start up the engine and there we go. It's about to check your aircraft whether you are equipped well, whether your aircraft is in a good condition or not, and whether you have fulfilled all requirements before taking off. So guys, we will at first make a pre-flight check. What is a pre-flight check? Well, a pre-flight check is the check of the aircraft outside. And there's a certain row how to check the outside status of your aircraft, and the basic rule is you will end there where you start. So the very first point of your checklist is indeed inside. When you hit the aircraft and get in, you will first check, do you have enough fuel on board? So turn on the battery and the generator and have a look at a fuel quantity indicator, and we see our fuels are completely full. So very good. This is what we can see in the indicator. So we can turn off the battery. We don't want it to discharge, therefore we turn it off. Furthermore, we can simulate it here. You check, do I have all my paper stuff with me? Like the insurance license, the aircraft airworthiness certificate, or your logbook. This is one thing you should really check before flying, since you can get controlled anytime. Okay, when we're inside, we can start our outside check. We leave the airplane and we start at the door, and we will move. Oh, that goes a little bit too quick. We move to the aft of the airplane. So get along the airplane, check the skin of the airplane. Is there anything unusual, anything there shouldn't be there? And when you are there, you will reach your elevator and your rudder. Start with a simple check of your elevator. You can move them with your hands. You can't see it right here, but you can really move the elevator with your hands. It has to go easy. It has to go free. There shouldn't be any inconvenient sound or any stuck. It has to move free. When you're done with this check, do exactly the same with your rudder. You can move it with your hand too. It should be free, it should be correct, it shouldn't make any strange noise. Have a look at your rudders too. Is there anything that shouldn't be there? When not, continue checking the skin along the registration of the aircraft, and you will next come to the tire. Okay. What's the important thing about the tire? Well, the condition from the outside, the pressure of your tire, check it with the hand, and you can see the red line. The red line on the tire has to be in one line with the red line on the wheel. Then your tire didn't slip during a hard landing, and this is very important to check. So the next thing you will do is check your ailerons. The ailerons should be free, the ailerons should move correctly, and there should be no strange sound or something unusual too. So there is one thing, and you should only do it when your battery is well charged. You should check your flaps. Let's simulate it here. I turn on the battery and I extend the flaps. Alright. You can then check the flaps. Are they in a good condition? Do they extend fully or not? How do they look? Is there anything okay with it? Check your flaps and keep them extended. So turn on the battery, extend the flaps, turn off the battery, very important, and then start your pre-flight check. Okay. Have a look at the wing. Have a look at the nav lights. Have a look at the strobe lights. I'll simulate them once. They're working fine. Continue looking at the wing. And we can see nothing unusual. The next is step at a small black stair you can find here and have a look inside your tank. We've already checked that our tank is full, but look inside. Have a look inside. Is it really dead, or is it maybe only half full or empty? You should check it and you should drain your tank. So you'll take a few amount of fuel and you check if it's clean or if there's any dirt or sediments in it. Your fuel has to be clean in order to work properly for your engine. Okay, do not forget to close the tank again, or your flight will be a very short one. Okay, step down and we will continue to check our engine. Okay, we can here see the spinner. We can here see the blades. The blades shouldn't have any cut in it. They should be clean. They should have the form you expect a blade of a prop to have. Check the landing lights. Check the air filter down. Check the motor entrances and what we can simulate too. Take your hands onto cowling and push it down 2 or 3 times. You can check your front gear feathering with that. Front gear is the keyword. Check the front gear. Does it look good? Do you have enough pressure, and are the red lines in a straight line? The next thing we check is this small thing you can see here. It's your static port. In a real aircraft there's a slow hole in it, and this hole mustn't be stuck or anything like that, because it's important for your indicated airspeed, not only for this, but it's one of the most important things. It's one thing how to measure your indicated airspeed, and if it's stuck you will get wrong indications. So when it's free, continue with checking your left tank. You have to take this step and check the quantity of your tank by a visual look. When you're done with that, continue on your wing, and then you can see the silver metal stuff right here. This is your pitot tube. Your pitot tube measures your dynamic pressure for your airspeed. So it's one very important thing. Maybe you know the remove before flight signature. It's that stuff that covers your pitot from flights to enter, and it should be removed before flying, and your pitot itself shouldn't be stuck or anything like that. Then above that we can find that little black hole. As you've already seen in my video how to recover a spin, we have stalled our aircraft. And how do we recognize a stall? There are 2 opportunities. On the one side, your aircraft is starting to shake, it is starting to descend, it is starting to sag immediately. And on the other hand, you can hear a sound. This is like the sound is created by this little hole, because there is a pipe inside, and when you are flying too low, your wing is in an area of low pressure, and the air is sucked outside through this pipe, so you can hear that sound, which you can even recognize in the cockpit, and then you've got a sound that you're flying too low. So you can kiss the wing here, and I really mean that literally. Kiss the wing and suck on that hole, and if your stall horn works correctly, you will hear that sound. Okay, continue your pre-flight, check the wing, does it look good? You will reach the upper side of the wing and you can check your nav and your strobe light too. This side is working fine too. So we can quickly continue to your left aileron. Check your aileron. Is it working correctly? Is it free and correct? Does it sound normally? These are the things you have to check. Moreover, check your flaps. Are they clean? Does anything stuck or not? It shouldn't. That's the hint. And then you finally check your left tire. You know what is going to come. Pressure, condition, and other red lines straight in a line. Well, and when you're done with that, you are done with the pre-flight check. But I have forgotten one thing. You have to check your oil. So you can see this little flap right here where you can open the cowling and you can pull out the oil step and you can check how much oil do you have. In a normal Cessna you should have about 5 to 6 quarts of oil. If you've got 4.5 or 4.7, don't care, it doesn't matter, but if you've got below 4 quarts you should add some more oil or your engine will stop working eventually mid-air. But we've got enough oil, we have checked our aircraft, so we can step in and we can start our pre-flight checklist. I've already told you that this is the Coronado Cessna 152 with the NH Adrian mod, and one of the advantages of the mod is it has got a very good checklist. So let's go through the checklist. We have completed our pre-flight inspection, difficult to spell. Do a short passenger briefing. So tell your passengers, if you've got one, where can you fasten and release your seatbelts? How do you enter or exit the aircraft? What is to do when you feel bad or something like that? Inform your passengers. Make sure that your seats are adjusted. They may be loose. Make sure that they are not loose, and the same with your seat belts. You've got normally two in a Cessna 152, that's your belly belt and your shoulder belt. Okay, the doors should be closed. Push against them with your hand. They mustn't open, that's very important. So your parking brake, as you can see, it is pulled, so it is set. The radio and the electrical equipment should be off. There's no electrical equipment on. Okay, we're fine. The circuit breakers, the white buttons, they should all be in. It looks like that when they're out. They should all be in, or you might get in trouble. Your fuel shut-off valve, I have to change the camera position a bit. Your fuel shut-off valve is between the seats. Oh, the pilot is coming in. And it should be in a horizontal position to be on, otherwise there will be no fuel pumped from the wings to the motor like this, and this is one thing that shouldn't happen at all. Okay, we're now ready to start the engine, and the first step is we will enrich our mixture. This is the red lever, the mixture is fully in. The second step is your carb heat should be cold. This is not cold, this is cold, because you need a full power to start your engine, and carb heat will reduce your engine power. Okay, the primer. I've already told you that too. The primer is when it's cold outside, when your engine won't start immediately, you pump some fuel into the engine prior to the startup by applying the primer. Don't do it too often, your engine will drown in fuel. Okay, the throttle should be opened about a half centimeter. That's really enough. The master switch and the battery are on. You can see the fuel quantity indicator is rising to full. Your beacon light should be on too, because you are now a danger. Now it's on. You're now a danger for people and animals standing outside. The key is now in ignition. The key is in. We put it to both. Don't forget now, hold your brakes. Now the brakes are held. Check your prop area. Left side is clear. Front side is clear. Right side is clear. And check even your back, because you don't want the air to stream into other aircraft or people. And then put your hands on the throttle, turn the keys to the right and hold it until your engine starts. Then don't forget to put the key back or your engine will take damage. So what is the next thing to do? You should be at 1000 to 1200 RPM, and the most important thing, your oil pressure should be green. Guys, please remember, if your oil pressure is not green, turn off your engine or it will be damaged. And a Cessna motor can cost you up to 50, 60, 70,000 euro. So, what about your ammeter? What about your battery? You can see it's on 0, so our battery is okay, it's not discharging. We can continue running our engine. Okay, what's the next thing to do? The generator is already on. You can start it here or even before your engine, it doesn't matter. And it's now time to retract the flaps. Okay, it is working fine, very good. Now we can turn on our electrical equipment. We've got our COM1, our NAV1 and our ADF and our transponder as well. This is all we got on avionics stuff in a basic Cessna 152. Okay, our transponder is on standby, as we can see, or now it is on standby, and the German VFR code is 7000. In the United States is 1200, or the assigned squawk you have got from ATC. Check your heading indicator. How to check the heading indicator? Well, here in the Cessna we can simply push the button. That's not realistic. In a real Cessna I misadjusted. In a real Cessna you check your compass, and the compass is about 85 degrees. So you adjust your compass to 85 or 90 degrees around about, and it is adjusted correctly. Your artificial horizon, you can adjust it with the button here. The white line, which symbols the aircraft, should be on the white lines on the side. Okay, furthermore, your magnetic compass, it should not turn when you're standing. It should be the heading you really have. So if you know you're heading to the north and your magnetic compass is showing south, you should really check your compass. Okay, the engine is started. We will taxi. Let's assume we have already received our taxi clearance, so we can transmit that Hotel Alpha Sierra Juliet Kilo, we are taxiing to the active. So let's put a checklist down. No, this is the control lock. This is the yoke. So pull the yoke to release your front gear. Release the brakes. Apply some throttle, not that much, and taxi to the active. Okay, make now a brakes check. Step into the brakes to make sure your brakes are working. And if you're flying with another person, please ask your co-pilot or your guest to check the brakes too, just in case. Okay, one thing to tell you too: if you suffer, from wind, you have to adjust your yoke so that your rudders are always showing into the wind. So if the wind is coming from the right side, from heading 160, please turn your aileron to the left, to the right, and if your wind is coming from 330, turn it to the left. If it's coming from 060, what is from straight ahead, you will push it, and if it's coming from back, pull it slightly. Okay, we'll check it. Is there one more thing? Yes, your instruments should move correctly. I will show you in a few seconds what I mean. We have got 3 turning instruments in our aircraft, and this is on the one hand the turning indicator, the heading indicator, and the magnetic compass as well. When you're in a turn, they should all move. So let's check this. I apply some throttle, I take away the yoke, I release the brakes, and I taxi straight out. I now make the left turn, turn indicator turning, heading indicator turning, and magnetic compass turning as well. So your gyro instruments are working. Okay, we're now on the holding point, and we have to do the last checks before we can finally fly the aircraft. And this is the following. Okay, we're on the holding point, the brakes are set, the doors and windows are closed and latched. Check this again. Set your elevator trim to takeoff. It doesn't matter if it's about take or off, it doesn't matter, this is your normal takeoff range. Check your flight instruments. So you maybe know the principle of the standard 6. Check your airspeed indicator, it should be at 0. Check your artificial situation indicator, it should be blue on the up and black on the downside. Check your altimeter, is it adjusted correctly? Check your vertical speed indicator, it should be 0. Check your heading indicator and your turn indicator. Okay, they are all showing the correct values, so we continue. Now we have to check the engine, so we apply throttle in order to have about 1700 RPM. And now we're checking our magnetos. Left magneto, drop, okay. Both magnetos, right magneto, drop, okay. We are checking the carpet. We should have a drop when applying the carpet. Yes, it's a slight one, but it is one. Furthermore, check your suction gauge. It should be in the green area. It is. Check your oil pressure and your oil temperature, both green. Check your fuel indicators. No significant difference. And finally, check your ampere meter. It should not discharge. Okay, our engine check is completed, so we put it to the idle and back to 1000 to 1200 RPM. Okay, when we're done with this, we check the flight controls. What we have done from the outside, we now do from the inside. Are they free in their movement? Are they showing correctly? Yes, they do. Let's do the same with the elevator. This looks nice. And let's finally check the rudder. It is working nicely too. Okay, so we check our altimeter. We're on sea level, so we should have 0 feet on our altimeter. This is what we got. Okay, very good. Then we can do the before takeoff checklist. Let's ignore the throttle friction. Check again your seat belts and harnesses. Doors and windows should be closed and latched. Maybe you have to extend the flaps. Check out my video with the short field takeoff. The fuel selector should be on. This is the handle between the seats. The carpet should be cold. The transponder is set to alt, so ATC can see your altitude. It's now on alt, okay. Landing light, it's not necessary, but you can turn it on when the weather conditions aren't fine or there's a lot of traffic. Turn it on, I would recommend you. Turn on the correct radio and transmit your intentions. Yeah, Hotel Alpha Sierra Juliet Kilo, taxi into position and takeoff runway 09er, so that all traffic participants and the ATC are informed. Okay, what else is to do? Check again your heading indicator. Okay, it's 016 and the magnetic compass is showing 016, almost 2, so it's fine. In order to log the takeoff time, we can here start our timer. And as I've already told you, please check the approach sector in order not to occur any inconvenience surprise from an arriving airplane. Well, done. We are ready. We can now taxi into position and we can now depart. So, happy flying. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I hope you're now comfortable with the procedures before taking off, and I wish you a lot of many happy flights. Bye bye.